All right, let's just shoot the video. So, much anticipated. You got the Chicago Electric, the famous Harbor Freight grinder, and an Oregon 520 110. Both these are already set up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grind a couple of teeth, because a lot of times what I'll do is when I got really gummy chains, I'll pass them through this grinder first to clean them up. See if I can give you, since I just did that tooth, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind some teeth with both, show you how they come out. I've got quite a few here to hone. I think these are all the way out to 56. There's some 20s in there. There's a couple of micro chains in there too for my wife's MS-180 and everything in between. These are 25-inch or 24-inch, whichever you want to call them, 84, 85 drive links. I've got some of both, so I actually got mics out, and I got to check, because sometimes I kind of get lost in the crossover between 063 and 050 and 058. So I'll mic them, I'll tag them. They go in boxes like this. This one looks like it's got mostly rip chains in it. 56-inch. These look like brand new 42s. This is a 56. These are both. Actually, there's a 115 in there too. So 115 for a 36 Husky and a 114 for 36 Steel. I try to tag them. You see, this one's got a mismatch in it. It's got an 84 in there with the crosscut chains. 114 semi-skip. 063. That must be crosscut chain. I keep them in these. These are waterproof. I'm going to end up with some overflow as I get into firewood cutting season, and I'll actually fill one of these boxes. Chains don't fit great in this. They fit real well in this. Like I said, I got chains in here up to 56 inches. So, but yeah, I'm going to stick you guys in the holder here, and I'll do a few and be able to see the difference between the two. I always hear that, the Harbor Freight grinder's junk and so on and so forth. I've got some videos on my YouTube channel about actually cutting some hard maple with a Harbor Freight grinder. I'm going to sit down. I don't think I'll be in your way. I'll stay off to the side, talk a little bit about this one and what you got to do to get it to work good. But a couple things. First of all, obviously the 520 110s. Here, I'll shoot over here for a second. The 520 110 is a much more expensive grinder, obviously. These things are like, 35, 40 bucks. These are, I can buy $100 wheels for this. Don't remember how much I paid for this, but it was, let's say, just under 400. This one has got tilt for the bed. Right now it's set at 10 degrees back for these 25-degree cutters, 55 degrees over, 10 degrees back, 25 on the rake angle. Fully adjustable. If you guys want to look it up, you can go see the the ins and outs of a 520 110. This one, it's got cutter angle, it's got fixed down angle. That's pretty much it. This one does have the what they call the hydraulic vise here with the bicycle grip here. Much smaller wheel. As you can see on the profile, it fits. It's a quarter wheel. I keep this old stone around. If you want to use the stones they send you, that's fine. This old stone, this dresses the wheels really fast. I think Harbor Freight sends something that looks like this with it. It's almost useless. It won't even grind off the wheel. Oregon sends you a nice chunk of stone. It's basically the same as, like a coarse garbage bench stone. I've got in my sharpening station over here, Japanese stones up to 30,000. So, you know, diamond plates, whetstone, you know, Arkansas stones, you name it, strops, everything. You know, I've got every single way to do it, but that old junk cheap stone works great for dressing wheels. You can see on this one, it's you know, it's a thicker wheel. It's actually set over perfect right now. That's not, this is not a quarter wheel. It's set in at the quarter pitch chain profile that it just fits in that gauge on this. I don't know how thick that wheel is, not very thick. But yeah, I'll sharpen a couple teeth on this. I'll show them to you. Sharpen a couple teeth on that, show them to you. As far as does this get them sharp? It gets them sharp. You do need to, I will tell you this, that when you switch sides on this one, you need to mic your teeth. You really need to grind your short side first, whatever your smaller teeth are, or if you have a damaged tooth, you grind your smallest tooth. Let me see where you guys are looking, make sure you're looking up here. Yeah. All right, yeah, that's all right. I kind of got you in this runny holder. You need to grind your smallest tooth first, or your smaller side first, and mic your teeth when you rotate it, and then grind your first tooth a little long and keep micing it until you get it the same, and then grind the other side. That's how this works versus everybody always says their teeth come out different sizes. Well, you know, that's great. You got to make them come out the same size. So if you're going to go through the trouble, instead of, you know, I hand file 95% of the time. The only time that I grind is when I've got really rock chains, and the rock chains will add up, and then at some point I'll just sit down and grind them all. So the Oregon grinder is kind of new, so I'm kind of familiarizing myself with it, and I figured I'd grind a few while I was at it. So this is good, you know, should be good video since everybody says these don't work, but yeah, they work fine. So it's over set at 25 right now. This chain is actually was a little bit damaged, and it's got some kind of rusty spots on it. It was sitting in the bottom of my box, and it kind of got a little bit rusty. So some of the drive links are, you know, they need some freeing up. But yeah, grab the kind of want to hold back on it into the depth stop, or the cut a length stop, and I like to go until I stop seeing sparks coming off the cutting edge. There are two schools on cutting teeth, and I'll show you the two schools. The two schools are the tap method. Sure, we'll pull back into it because sometimes it rocks more, but the tap method is little short taps. If you see an old timer doing this, the old timers hammer. Like that. Which way is better? I don't know. I tend to be a tap guy myself. Not bluing the tooth. You see, for all the grinding I just did, I mean, you're not bluing the tooth or anything. It's perfectly across on the cutting edge. I will show you what that tooth looks like. Right now it's set. Let's see if I can get this in the light right, but let's see if I can get it to focus. I don't know where my where's my camera on there. Let's try and get it The one thing I do notice on the Harbor Freight grinder is that right along the top plate, I don't know if you can see this or not, right along the top plate, it tends to, as you pull up, it tends to get a little vertical there. The wheel doesn't cut anywhere near as efficiently, but I mean, this tooth is sharp. It's sharpened all the way down, right about, right about into the bottom of the gullet. This tooth is sharp. You can run it just like this. It'll cut. And I have and can file depth gauges on that too. What I do to file the depth gauges, just to show you real quick, I don't want this video to get a mile long, but what I'll do to file the depth gauges is that I'll set one, and then I will bring, which way is this going to be? I will bring the wheel down till it kisses off, and then set the depth. And then basically all you have to do is just come down in between the tooth till it stops, and then just drag the depth gauge through it. And I like to do them backwards, so I come down right in between the tooth and the depth gauge, and then drag the depth gauge back through it. So you can get depth gauges with that. I've done it on my rip chains. Let's get you over here on this one. So, like I said, this one's already set up. You can see, focus. Come on, focus. Oh, there it is. I had it. I just got some crap on it with my finger, but there's nothing wrong with the job. This is crap off my finger right here, but there's nothing wrong with the job that it did. Now I'm going to do the next one just to show you what it looks like beforehand. So this one, let's look at the top. This one's got a little bit of damage to it. You can see how it's rounded over. Come on, focus, come on. There you go. So you can see the top plate, what it looks like. It's not sharp, it hasn't been hit. This one comes with, for the depth gauges, it comes with its own wheel. This grinder also is much more finicky to set up. Let's see if I can get, I'm going to move you guys quick over here so you can see. There you go. You should be able to see good from there, I think. This one's a lot more finicky to set up, but I'll show you what you get for a grind off it. It's not a hydraulic chain vise here, so you gotta pull this over. This holds the chain a lot better than the other one does. Actually, the chain just kind of slipped up on that one a little bit, but I'm also grinding 10 degrees down and 25, 55 on the down angle. So again, whatever. Now you can probably hear the difference in the quality of the wheels there. I'm going to adjust where this tooth is because it's not touching. This wheel actually is going to be dressed. I hate that. The other thing is that when you do, even with this hot, expensive one, when you reef down on the vise here, it tends to move the tooth just a little bit. So even though you're fixed in place, it did move that tooth forward just a teeny bit. I have seen a hack for, and you can see I'm putting my finger right on the tooth, so it's not hot. Here's, I'll put my tongue on it if you want me to. That's not hot at all. Here's my pinky on there. Show you what this tooth looks like. Move you back so I can see in the light here. I'm going to move you back over a little bit so you can get this in the light. Get you back up a little. Let's see here. Come on, focus. Come on. There we go. You can see the burr on the outside of the tooth right there. Just kind of wipe that off real quick. Come on, focus. You can see shit from my finger on it too. It does a real clean job. I'm going to do another one, see if I can get it in focus for you. So that, it's a real clean job. See what the hook angle looks like. Pretty aggressive hook angle. Little beaky on the top. It's got a little bit of a burr on the side plate there, so that might be giving you a bad look at it. But that's, fairly aggressive. You can see actually from the setup, it's more aggressive than the witness mark there. And that's set up per the, per Oregon specs on this chain for what it should, their grinder. If you want my honest opinion, this should be maybe a little less down angle. Why is that not focusing? Come on, baby. Come on. Oh, there we go. So let's look at the one in front of it while we get while it's focused, right? Oh, light on it right. You can see that the Harbor Freight takes a little bit, it's not as big a profile in the gullet. Let's see what the hook angle looks like. Come on. The hook angle's similar. It actually cuts more like a square file with a real super aggressive hook. Doesn't round out the inside as much. It's a little bit straighter down this line here. It's more aggressive than the witness mark. I can't adjust the down angle on that. So let's do one more. The biggest difference between these two grinders is that when you switch sides on the Oregon, even though it's a good idea to mic your teeth anyway, you don't have to. Cuts them the same size. These teeth have been hand filed, so they're not all the same size right now. So it's kind of a crapshoot. It's good to go through a grinding rotation just to see where the teeth are, or just look at it, see where the teeth are, see which side you need to grind first. Now that took a pretty big bite on that first thing. And you can, I don't know if you guys can see this, well, it's showing up in the camera, but there's a pretty good burr across the top edge right there. This tooth is not hot at all. I think the tooth was sitting up in the vise a little bit, but let's take a look at that one before I get my finger shit all over it. Yeah, it's nice and clean. So you can see the burr on the side there hanging off. You can, and I'll let you guys look it up yourselves, but you can do a hack on these and run the grinder backwards. Now, I'm not going to show that. I'm not going to void the warranty on my new Oregon grinder, but I'm going to tell you that it can be done. Again, you see the same profile as the other one. Super aggressive. Damn it. Come on. Stay focused, baby. Super aggressive. It's a little beaky. One thing's for damn sure. If your chain wasn't cutting before, it's going to cut like this. And like I said, you can take the rakers down too. This one's got a wheel for the rakers, and you set it up at 0. You grind one, set your depth stop, kind of the same way that I do it with the Harbor Freight. But yeah, so let me just throw this thing, this gritty, dirty ass chain, back in the Harbor Freight grinder, because I'm going to run the whole thing through the Harbor Freight grinder first, get most of the shit off it, so I don't get the shit all over my wheel. I'm not gonna. I'll pull you out of this real quick. I'm not gonna degum chains in my shop in here. So yeah, that's it. We got a whole bunch of them to do. So just wanted to show the difference. You know, I see the comments all the time about how the Harbor Freight grinder is no good and it's junk. And all I can tell you is, you know, if you understand tooth geometry and you take your time, you can sharpen teeth on this that will cut. They'll cut fine. Like I said, if you go to my YouTube channel, or this will be on YouTube, so you'll be able to go through, you'll be able to see some milling where I took a rock chain that had been filed on this for ripping and did a hard maple back, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. And I was wondering how it was going to cut at 10 degrees, and you'll be able to see the cut. It cut fine. So yeah, that's it. It's getting a little long, so just want to show you the difference between the two and what $400 gets you versus you know, $35. I'm not saying run out and buy this grinder. I'm just saying it works. I'm not saying run out and buy this grinder unless you've got 9,000 chains to do like I do. You know, you're doing a whole different level of job. Plus, I sharpen for all the tree services in this area and a few landscaping companies. And matter of fact, some of their chains are in here. I can just tell because all I run's big saws, and there's some micro chains in there from them. If they bring me one that's really totaled, I'll throw a new chain on theirs and give it back to them. And then I'll just sharpen them out later, and I'll put them on their saws when they bring it back another time. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If I didn't say it, welcome to the shop. This is my hand tool shop. That's my saw till, my plane till. My workbench is totaled right now because we replaced my wooden lathe in here with this metal lathe that we picked up yesterday. And I just got this all set up and we rearranged. So my wooden lathe used to be on that bench. Well, normally I'll clamp my chain vise right in between on this bench and let the chain, because normally I'm filing big chains, have it lay over that vise and that vise so it feeds through nice and smooth. I'll keep the vices open and it runs over the, you know, the gibs on the vise, I mean the posts on the vise really smooth. That is my other grinder that I made, and this I file my lathe tools on, and you know, anything I need to reprofile, cutting carbides for this or high-speed steels for this. And yeah, that's it. Go Irish. Have a great day.